Okay, in this video we're just going to go through some of the different features on in the WordPress dashboard, starting with the Welcome to WordPress box right here. We're just going to go to Customize Your Site because that's obviously the place where WordPress wants us to go because it's the biggest button that kind of stands out. So let's just click that really quick. And this is cool. It does a split screen to where you can see what your website looks like as you're making different changes to it. So the site title and tagline are both two pretty important parts to your website. The site title and tagline are going to be the things that show up right here. If you can see my mouse, whenever you have the browser open, it's basically going to have your name, your site title right there, and the tagline, and at the same time, unless you upload some sort of graphic right here, this is by default WordPress is going to take whatever you put right here and make the the header that with the little subheader right there. So WordPress website tutorials is the name of my site. I could change that if I wanted to, but that's not what I want to do. That's exactly what I want. Tagline, video tutorials for building a WordPress website. And the tagline and even the site title, these are both important places to think about, SEO content. You want to have a site title and a tagline that have specific keywords to whatever you want to be found for. So if your website is about how to raise chickens, then your site title might be something like, how to raise chickens. Or your tagline could even be like, how to raise chickens on a budget or something like that. So those are important parts. And you can tell it to display header text, or, and in that case it just took it away. But right now we're going to keep the header text on there. Colors, this is kind of an overall, this is the header color text, so you can change it to be completely different, and I'm actually going to make it red. I kind of like that bright red, maybe not so bright. So yeah, that is, and then we have the background color. And each theme that you install is going to have a different way to do all this. So, Catchbox is what we're on right now. But each theme will probably be slightly different, but it won't be difficult to figure out how to make these changes. Right now, I believe I'm just going to leave it white because that's just nice and clean. Header image. If you need to put an image in your header, that actually doesn't look good at all. So we're just going to remove that image. And background image. So when you would want to do a header image is if you actually have the header image, you upload the header image, but it looks like I can't upload one right here, but we'll show you how to do that later. Background image. So this one you can actually put an image on there. Let's see what kind of image we can put back there. Maybe I can just search for background. Okay, let's do that one. It's some wood, and it's going to upload, and then we're going to tile it, and then it looks kind of cool. It's got a little wooden background. So let's just leave that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Static front page, and then this little, and then the static front page. This section just, what do you want to display? Do you want to display your latest blog posts, which kind of acts as like a news, and that's really the thing that will probably more than likely bring people coming back to your website if you give them updates, weekly updates, once or twice or 3 times a week even. Or you can choose to have a static page. It's just an information page about something, and there's information, links, and whatnot. Maybe you would want to do that. So this is what that would look like. and there's a way to turn off comments within the page. So I'm going to actually keep it on the blog because I want to show my latest blogs, and we're just going to save and publish. Now that we've done that, we can close it, and it'll bring us back to the WordPress dashboard. Then the next steps are to write your first blog post. So go ahead and click on that, and it'll take us, and I'll show you the alternate way to get there. You click hover over posts, and it'll bring up add new, and then you create a blog post. And this is really easy to create your first blog post. You can write something like let's say I'm making a WordPress website tutorial. I cannot get that word. Tutorial as we speak, because that's what I'm doing. This is a tutorial on how to make your first blog post. So this is my first blog post, and won't it be funny when people watch this video and go to this site and see this post? He. So yeah, it's really easy to write your first blog post. Then let me talk about what we have to work with right here. This is called the kitchen sink, and what this does is, you want to click that. You don't want to just work with this. You want to have the whole kitchen sink. And what this does is, let's say this is my main point. You can scroll down, and heading 1, that just makes it a little bit bigger. This is my, sub point of the main point. And when you're blogging, this is something that is really important to do. That doesn't look much different. Let's see what this one does. Heading 3. So even if these don't look much different from each other, what it's doing is, so this is the what you see is what you get editor, WYSIWYG, and you can click over here to the text, and this is the HTML. And for the H1, heading 1 is what it is, and heading 2 and heading 3, it puts these tags around the text that basically tell search engines that this is an important point that I'm trying to make, or this is what my website is about, is another way that search engines take it. So it's important as well, to use headings, use H1, H2, H3, use those headings whenever you're blogging, because that's what search engines like to look at. And as long as those headings are something that kind of makes sense for the subject that you're talking about and your website, then you'll start to get better Google rankings, as you blog more and have more of those keywords. Different websites have different ways of using quotations. This is what someone said. And then I'm just gonna type a bunch of junk. So let's make this quotations, and you can see what that looks like. Okay, so another section that we'll look at is categories. So I'm going to name this category tutorials, and I'm going to add that category, and it automatically is going to put this blog post in the category tutorials, so that whenever people search tutorials, they click the category tutorials. This will be thrown into the mix of all the blog posts that are categorized with tutorials. Tags are simply keywords and relevant names and phrases that you want to be associated with this blog post. So for example, sample page, sample post, gibberish. That's really what this blog post is. And then we'll just add that, and it puts them right there. Then we're going to set a feature image, and we'll just grab one of the photos that's already on there. The cool thing about this is that feature image is usually automatically resized by WordPress to fit whatever theme you're working with. But yeah, let's go ahead, and there are more things that we'll talk about later whenever we talk about plugins, but for now, that is how you create your blog post. There you have a few different things that you can do. You can save it as a draft, which will basically save it exactly as it is, but it just won't publish it. And that's always fine to press that because it doesn't hurt to save your draft. The cool thing about saving a draft is you can preview the post before it's published, and you can see what it's going to look like. So you've noticed the changes that we've made to the website. Here's the post, and there's some gibberish, and that's the quotations. Posted in tutorials and tagged gibberish sample page sample post by Philip Ellis. And yeah, so you can kind of see what that looks like. So if you think it looks good, you can either publish immediately by pressing publish, or you can press edit, and you can actually schedule the post, which is really helpful. So if I don't want it to publish immediately, I can schedule it for tomorrow at, let's say, 8 a.m. in the morning. Actually, I'm going to put a 0 in front of there. So yeah, schedule it, and then it'll change the publish to schedule, and then you press schedule. And it won't go live until 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Okay, so that's the post page. Now we're going to talk about pages.